right now working its way through the court system, actually awaiting a hearing at the U.S. Supreme Court, is a lawsuit brought by Republican governors across the country against the federal government, trying to argue that the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, the entire thing, should be ruled unconstitutional. Now, the U.S. Department of Justice, under the control of Donald Trump and William Barr, actually joined in this lawsuit against, I guess, essentially themselves, by trying to argue that, yes, the whole law must be struck down as unconstitutional, and we want it to be unconstitutional, and oh crap, you guys are about to hear that case? Oh no, that's not good for us. On Friday, this past Friday, William Barr sent a letter to the U.S. Supreme Court upon realization that, oh no, they're about to take up this case, that's going to be bad for us. So Barr sends a letter to the Supreme Court and says, hey, could you guys not Could you just not do this case right now? Could you maybe do it like in the fall? And that way, when you finally do have a ruling, it'll come out after the 2020 election. That legit, Barr sent that letter to them. And that was his reasoning. That's what he asked them to do, to delay a decision on it till after the 2020 presidential election. And the reason is because Barr knows that if he is successful, then millions of people in this country, tens of millions, are going to lose their health insurance. And that would probably not work out very well for Donald Trump at the polls in November if suddenly 40 million, 20 million, whatever it would be, people walk into the poll saying, I don't want to vote for the guy that just stripped me of my health insurance. I'm going to vote for the other person. And Barr understands it because he's not an idiot. He's pure friggin' evil, but he's not an idiot. So he politely asked the Supreme Court, hey, can you not screw us by issuing this decision prior to the 2020 election? Now, here's the thing about this, folks. The U.S. Supreme Court, they've already ruled on Obamacare. They've already ruled that, hey, guess what? It's constitutional. So the fact that they would even take up this case again is a bit bizarre, right? They've made their decision. The Supreme Court doesn't go back and do do-overs. But because they have a conservative majority, because the case is brought by conservatives, and because conservatives think it's going to help them, sure, we'll, throw out decades or centuries really of precedent and just do this for you guys because we love you so darn much. It doesn't matter if it happens before the 2020 election. It doesn't matter if it happens after the 2020 election. If the Republican Party is successful in kicking tens of millions of people off of their health insurance, sending them effectively to an early grave because they can no longer afford health care coverage, it will eventually come back to bite them. Maybe it'll bite them in 2020, or perhaps it'll have to wait until 2022 and 2024, but it will come back to bite them. And Republicans would rather take that hit later down the road than have to deal with the consequences of their horrendous policies today. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.